So I did my first Cowboys video a minute ago and it was way too long. So clearly I had some pretty strong feelings about what happened yesterday. So let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys real fast. Bad game yesterday, great game the first game. The Giants were not really playing what I think up to what they're capable of in that first game. But nevertheless, we beat the socks off of them and showed that we're a for real team. And then yesterday we played the #1 pass defense in the league. And in my opinion, based on what I saw yesterday, after week 2, probably the best defense overall in football right now. And we learned a couple things. One, and I'm going to make this much faster than the one I just attempted to do. Dak Prescott is a really good quarterback. He is not a great quarterback yet. Everybody has a bad game, so I'm not saying that because having one bad game changes my opinion. I just think that he's in his second year. He's never really faced adversity like that. He's not accustomed from playing from behind, and what that is, it exposed the fact that we're a good passing team. We're not a great passing team. We're a great running team. And when that doesn't work because of a really great defense, then the Cowboys are going to struggle. And they got to figure that out. You have to be able to pass the ball down the field when you're not running. And it's got to be more than 8 yards here and 10 yards there. And when a team is stacking 8 guys in the box, which is what the Broncos were doing a lot, and tons of run blitzing, which oftentimes actually resulted in Dak Prescott being under duress because he was running a pass play. A lot of those times they weren't even pass blitzing. They were run blitzing, and then as the play developed, they just wound up going after Prescott because he didn't hand the ball off. So they blitzed the crap out of us, and the Cowboys were not up to it. That's just all there is to it. And so at the end of the day, what we saw is that when a team stacks 8 guys in the box like that, and you've got a Des Bryant and a Cole Beasley, Jason Witten, and Williams, you have to be able to, somebody's got to be able to get open, and you got to be able to get the ball down the field. Sometimes you have to pass to open up the run, whereas the old saying is you got to run to open up the pass. It works both ways, and it just depends on which one is working first. So if you're running the ball well, then it opens up the passing. If you're not running the ball well, then you better be able to pass well to open up the run. And that's what we saw not happening a lot yesterday. And so the Cowboys can take this game against the Broncos and use it as a learning experience. I wanted to note a couple of quick things about yesterday's game from a football perspective. One, they got to learn how to check or audible to the correct play. There were at least 5 or 6 plays in that game that we should have audible to a quick slant pass or a quick out and up, which I know are shorter passes, where we just stayed with the run, even though we had 8 guys in the box. And the Cowboys are accustomed to winning that battle, whether you got 8 guys in the box or not. But when that doesn't happen, you got to do something different. I didn't see a lot of that, and I also didn't see a whole lot of scheme adjustments offensively or defensively after halftime. And so they need to be able to make adjustments much, much, much quicker. The Cowboys are going to be okay. I still think they're a playoff team. I don't think that game yesterday is an indicator of that at all. I think they're definitely going to be in the playoffs. But as the season goes along, one of the things they need to be focused on is how to play from behind, because that's the kind of stuff that can happen to a good team in the playoffs. When you go up against Denver, of course, you're not going to see Denver in the playoffs, but for instance, let's say we see the Eagles in the playoffs, whose offense looks pretty good too, even though they got beat by Kansas City yesterday. You have to be able to play from a couple of touchdowns behind. And you got to be able to, move the ball down the field with passing that's, longer than 4 or 5 yards here and there. And we tried to go deep a number of times, and we just weren't open. I mean, we just weren't open, and Prescott didn't have enough time. because he was under duress almost the whole game. So they have to get better at that stuff. Go Cowboys. They're going to be okay. I purposefully kind of waited for a couple of weeks to do this because I wanted to kind of see what they were all about. I didn't want to just jump on the Cowboys bandwagon. You know, we're going to the Super Bowl after beating the Giants, and I'm glad I didn't, because now we see that that's a little harder than what, than what it looked like after week one. So chop chop, go Cowboys.